don't run from a problem, run towards a problem. You're going to look so much more professional. I think once someone finds a handyman or a contractor that they trust, price is no longer important. It's just about the quality of the work. I feel like that's becoming more important. People, I think, are vetting.
Welcome to the Home Show, where we sit down with builders, designers, and real estate professionals shaping the spaces we call home. I'm your host, Oscar Michaels, founder of hOMe Media. And in each episode, we dive into the stories behind the brands, the strategies behind the success, and the marketing moves that help these local leaders stand out. From concept to completion, from startup to legacy, this is where real conversations happen. Let's get into it. Jay, welcome to episode 4, season 1. Excited to have you. Jay is the owner and president, I guess, of Hometown Pros, LLC, which is a boutique handyman service doing the work that builders and homeowners don't feel like doing. So he's local here in Bucks County. And Jay, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background so our viewers and audience can learn a little bit about where you came from and how you got started?
Yeah, sure. Jay Thackray, owner Hometown Pros. We started the business about a year ago, officially launched the LLC back in January 25. How I got started is kind of an interesting story. I come from finance. I was a loan officer for the past 9 years. And when rates skyrocketed, my business slowed down and started doing side jobs with a friend. Been handy my whole life, renovated my whole house, helped a lot of friends, a lot of family do it. So it's kind of interesting. I'm sure we'll dive more into that with the show and
Sure.
how I switched and got out of that and kind of still in it, but kind of not.
Sure. So how long were you doing mortgages for?
About 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a long time, almost a decade.
Yeah. So technically I still have my license, but I jumped into this full time last year. My partner came on board in August and we're, just full steam ahead.
Nice, man. So you started, a year ago? Or not even?
Technically, we started the LLC January of 25.
Okay.
We came up with the idea back in October of 24. I was actually sitting talking with Mitch. He's kind of a guy, you go and talk business and talk, just life and guy talk. And came up that I was slow. And he's like, I have this idea. What do you think? And I'm like, I love it. And that night, or maybe the next day, I texted my partner, like, concierge handyman, what do you think? Monthly subscription plan. And he just was like, let's go. And
Really?
yeah, we wanted to set the business up like legit and fully. So that was October. So we started, talk to our accountant, start getting the LLC paperwork going. But he just said, wait till January from a tax standpoint. But yeah, just getting all the logos and everything set up in 24 was super exciting. And then 25, we slowly got into it, but we really didn't really start taking off or going full time to about May.
Tell me a little bit about how you started getting jobs. Like, how did that work? Was that through just like personal friends, family, networking, or like how did that work?
Yeah, it was really networking. I didn't want to really promote it to family and friends. That can just sometimes get sticky.
Get messy.
I wanted to kind of get the concept in place first. So I'm happy to help friends and families moving forward. But so really it was Facebook. I had this idea when I met with Mitch and he's like, let's start a networking group. So we started the Bucks Business Group. Shout out. We meet at the Hattery.
Heck yeah.
Twice a month. And that's been huge.
That's where I met you.
Yeah.
That was great.
I mean, the support from you and everyone in the group. So we started slowly getting traction on Facebook. Really, the community pages. I mean, Doylestown, Chalfont, Percy do probably 80% of our work right in this area, and just getting love from some people in the group. And then we got some clients, and then they started shouting us out. And when I would see people asking for help, I would just send them a message. We're licensed and insured, father-son team, and we reach out. And kind of how we got into this is we both realized that there's a big need for contractors, and people were just blown away that we called them back. So
yeah, seriously. Well, I think that's a great point, is that handyman like services are like far and few between. I feel like there's not too many around. And if they are, like you said, they don't get back to you. And it's these tedious jobs that no one either one knows how to do, or they don't want to do that, or they don't have the time to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think you found a great niche or niche, whatever you want to call it, in the industry. And you have so many different avenues you can go, whether you're working with real estate agents and brokers because they have, new homeowners or people that bought a home and have a bunch of things that need to get done, or people that bought, a fixer-upper and they're in over their head. It's a great opportunity for you to, pick up leads. It's just, I think it's a great niche to be in, and there's so much opportunity in this area for, what you do. I think it's
super excited. It's funny, one of our first jobs was a little deck board replacement. I went out and replaced 4 deck boards. What contractors go out and do that? So we're really focusing on the small jobs. We've done larger jobs, we can do bigger jobs, but really that's small.
What job is, too large in your mind? Like if someone calls and says like, hey, we want to redo our 2nd floor bathroom. It's a full bath, shower, vanity, double vanity, tile, the whole thing. Is that too big? Is that something you try and steer clear of? Or are you just trying to replace, say they want new faucets or new outlets put in there?
Sure, being honest, we're still figuring that out. We can do all that work, but it's a matter of a lot of homeowners want that done quickly.
Sure.
As a 2-man show, we're not going to pump it out in 2 weeks like a larger contracting company that has 6 guys. So we're thinking now one of our ideas or what we want to do is really partner up with other experts in the industry that we can, when we're getting asked and as we grow our client base, they, love and trust us that we can make those recommendations for some larger projects. And we bid the job, but my partner and I, Mike, we can't hang 35 sheets of drywall. So, talk to a drywall company about bringing them in, making sure that they were, licensed, insured, vetted them. So that would kind of be the value we bring.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like you're a handyman business. You're not a construction crew. Like hire a contractor to do something like that. Whereas if you're changing a ceiling fan or a couple outlets, it makes a lot more sense for 2 guys to come in and change 5 outlets or whatever. I wanted to hear what inspired you to just leave mortgages, because that's obviously a hot industry through COVID, and you were in it for a decade, so I'm sure you saw the ups and downs. But what was like, hey, let's do something else?
I loved being a loan officer. I still love it. As I told you, I'm still licensed. But I think as time went on, I realized that life is more important about being happy, and I think I had more of a passion every time I would do projects around my house or helping a friend lay a floor. I always enjoyed that. I just really liked it. Even when you had a bad day working with your hands, it was like a good day.
Sure.
And as time went on, the real estate industry, it can be cutthroat. And
tell me.
As much loyalty as you try to build, sometimes that can just go by the wayside. So I think I had a lot of challenges in a high rate environment in 23 and 24 with some partners and people that I thought would stick with me. It just didn't work out, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. Okay. And once I started kind of doing side work to help supplement my income, I'm like, I'm loving this.
Sure.
I was just getting back into it and enjoying it more and more. And I don't know, probably 10 years, me and my partner Mike and my brother have always sat around and talked at the holidays or parties, like, let's start flipping houses, let's get into rentals. And like, I guess timing was right where my business was slowed as on the mortgage side. And I'm like, sure, let's just give it a shot, So we just went all in and
nice. So I was going to ask, like, did you have a mentor through it, or this was just like a personal passion that you followed through on? I
mean, I've always had great mentors. My parents have always, helped mold me into the person I am today. I had a friend, Bob Conley. He's no longer with us, but he was a huge mentor in my 20s. I met him at Home Depot. It's kind of how I learned a lot of my handyman stuff is working at Home Depot. And then I worked with Bob. He did a lot of side jobs, and I learned by learning. I learned by watching.
Sure.
I'm not a guy that does well reading books, but
yeah, I have to watch and then do. That's exactly like I was not good in school, like where they're like, read this and then apply it.
I was like hands on, and if I did it once or twice, I was pretty quick to pick it up. And back at Home Depot back in the day, I worked there when I was 21. They used to run like seminars at 9, 3, and 12 where you could go to other departments and learn about those other areas that maybe I didn't know and kind of gain knowledge that way. But I would just...
So funny that you're saying this. There was another, gentleman on the show, and he was in like visual, audio, lighting, and stuff like that. And he started at Best Buy. And people, I feel like, hate on those, those stores or brands like to go work at as like a starting position, or like if you're interested in doing it, like go do it, because you never know who you're going to meet. 1, 2, you never know what situation you're going to be in that can, open doors to another opportunity. And I respect that. And I think that's so cool that you started there and you found a passion through Home Depot. Like, not many people can probably say that.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, it was one of my favorite jobs. Although I loved working there.
Funny story, Lindsay and I, my girlfriend, we literally just love to walk through stores like that. And even if we're not buying anything, we'll go grab like a Starbucks coffee and walk through. Actually, before this snowstorm that we just had, she went there like after her nail appointment, and we were like, we don't have any salt. And she went and like loaded up like a full like flatbed cart of salt while all these other dudes are there like lifting these heavy bags. She's there like with her Chanel bag on, throwing bags of salt on there. And I felt that I couldn't be there. But
my problem when I walk around Home Depot is I love to buy new tools, so I spend too much money on them.
I feel like you're one of many people that do that.
I love it.
I do too, and I'm not even like that handy. I mean, I built this wall, but that's not much to talk about with Lindsay's dad. But it's cool when you get a new tool. You're like, I want to use it and do stuff with it, even if you have no clue what you're doing. So
absolutely,
but that's fun. Tell us a little bit about your services. This is what people, in my opinion, are going to want to hear. So what do you offer? I know we've discussed, you came up with some packages like monthly subscription plans that you're going to, roll out in the near future. Or already have to help, clients with different needs. And, in this area, I feel like a lot of people travel or they're very, busy with work. There's a lot of pharmaceutical people that can't really have the time to do all these punch list items. Like, tell us a little bit about the packages and, how they're going to work for you.
Yeah, we're super excited. We launched them last year, but we didn't get into it, full deep dive. So we're really pushing them this year. It's going to be something with a big focus on. So we have a bronze, a silver, and a gold package. And really, it's a subscription model for your home, right? We realize that a lot of appliances these days have a lot of extra maintenance and work that past generations just didn't have, right? They didn't have all the technology.
It's because they're all made in China, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, refrigerators and have water filters, things like that you need to change and check. The washing machines have traps in them that need to be cleaned out. So we're kind of going two ways where we come out for, depending on what package you pick, 2, 3, 5 hours, where we can customize it. We could come up with a checklist every month of things that we think you should do. Or what's been more popular with clients is they say, hey, I want you to do these couple things while you're here next month. And we just follow up with them like a week ahead of time, say, hey, what's on your list? What are you looking to accomplish? All right, it's going to take this long. We can add on extra hours at a discounted rate. So what clients have been loving is really the convenience, knowing, hey, I have someone coming out every month. Sure, we can do quarterly, but probably not going to get as much value out as that. But showing that I don't have to call someone when something minor breaks, and just knowing that you have that convenience. Then we also, any client that signs up with us will get priority scheduling. So yeah, we're super excited to roll these out, and you can check out our website for more pricing and details.
Yeah, that's exciting. I think it's cool. The while you're here, John Gemme from Gemme Construction, and mentioned this on our episode where he was saying, like, when they go in to do a project, he always tells the homeowners, like, give me the while you're here list, like whether that's to replace a toilet seat or whatever. But that's great. So like, will they call each month and tell you, like, hey, here's what, we think we need fixed, whether it's the squeaky garage door with the, the wheels going up and down or just whatever. And then you come in and say, like, also, while we're here, we'll do these items and just check to make sure that they're all functioning, like smoke alarms or whatever.
Sure. So we have our checklist that we'll kind of present to the client of what we think we should do monthly and a yearly basis. Big thing is checking batteries and smoke detectors.
And I assume like you do like a walkthrough through the house first, like when you first meet the client, be like to get an idea of what the home,
exactly
how it's situated.
That's kind of our first visit, is a consultation walkthrough, see what kind of systems they have, how much square footage they have, really to kind of tailor a package to meet their needs.
Sure.
Some people do all the maintenance themselves and they just want us to do small projects. We've been doing a lot of fixing squeaky doors, bending hinges, just doors that don't, close properly, hanging a lot of pictures. But definitely everything I recommend at least, once a month, once a quarter, is checking your water sources, whether that's under your sink, by your washing machines, just taking a dry rag and rub them on your water lines to make sure you can catch those early leaks to help, prevent stuff.
I thought a really cool one too from hearing in our group was replacing mailboxes. Like, who does that, right? Like, I'm not going to call a builder, hey, you mind coming out here and replacing a mailbox for us? So I thought that was a really cool one.
Yeah.
And there's like a lot of cool new mailboxes out there. So people are probably like, oh, let's upgrade ours to something a little bit more modern or more security so I can keep my mail safe or whatever.
That kind of got us going early was the mailboxes. That's like we became like the mailbox king in this area. Like that's what we were advertising and focusing on. And it's a super easy project to do. And it gives very nice curb appeal. So, we were getting a lot of calls for that. And we invested in nice augers. So we can dig out the holes in like
Nice.
5-10 minutes. So it's
Nice. We have no sidewalks on our street. It's just like a dip off into like the stormwater run. And like where our mailbox was like situated in like some asphalt and like rocks. And the guy that came out to do it was like, yeah, it'll only take 2 hours. He got there. It was like easy for like what they had to do. So yeah, I mean, I imagine most mailboxes are pretty easy and just in some dirt, but do you run into issues like that or like?
It is tough. I ran into one that was, I didn't realize it was embedded in concrete. It was embedded in like a 5-gallon bucket of concrete.
Oh, man.
Thankfully, I actually had my nephew out on that job with me, so he did most of the digging. But that one took a little bit longer.
Sure.
So now we do have a clause in our pricing that excludes if we find concrete. So, because you never know.
Of course. What do you think is going to set you guys apart from, other services? Like I said, you're in a great niche, so I don't see too much competition, but I'm sure it's going to pick up once, builders realize like, hey, we don't do all those jobs. People will find this niche as well, just like any other industry. What's going to set you guys apart? I think one is just how personable you are. Just for, clarity and reference to the viewers and listeners, like when I met you in the networking group, I took a leap of faith because I typically don't hire someone I don't know too well. And I'm in the industry, in terms of working with a lot of these builders and contractors. So I took a leap of faith with you guys, and you guys did an awesome job on our 3rd floor and
Thank you.
fixed a lot of trim work and knee wall stuff. And and you built a half wall for us with some beautiful trim work, and it was so seamless and easy working with you. You showed up on time. You cleaned up. You were super neat. I think in my eyes, that's what's going to set you apart compared to some of the contractors out there. They're very, messy, not very personable, usually a little rough around the edges. But I feel like coming from that mortgage industry, that's where you're going to, really thrive.
I definitely agree. And it was fun working on your house. Customer service, you know what I mean? I think that's lacking in probably the contractor space. I remember when I was in my early 20s, my stepdad had a couple estimates to have a deck put on. And I'll never forget the one guy showed up like in a undershirt with like dinner dripped on his shirt. And it just didn't look professional. And I'm like, you're not going to consider hiring.
You're hiring that guy?
So I think it's important to show up clean in a uniform. We're big into cleaning up, putting on booties if clients request that, and just leaving the property like we kind of leave our home. As we're working with our guys, I always say, look, what would you do at your house? Would you leave it like this? Or maybe when they're stumbling or struggling with a project and maybe they think the spackle looks good, but would you leave it like that at your house is a big thing I try to say. And people, we really take pride in working on people's houses like we'd work on our own. I think that's what will separate us. Obviously, I do have some sales skills from the mortgage side, and I charge in in-home sales. But I think just doing the right thing, people see that, and the communication, we just try to be good people, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like when Lindsay and I talked, after you guys left, like we were just so grateful with the communication, transparency. Like, hey, we forgot a piece. We'll be right back. You guys were right back. Like, that was awesome. Usually a contractor like ups and leaves in the middle of a project to go, to his other crews or whatever, and kind of he won't show up for another 3 days. And you're like, what's going on? So I feel like that's huge, having that communication and being transparent with the clients.
Definitely. And we've had problems on a job. We were mounting a gaming TV for a young lady, and we ended up breaking the gaming monitor after we left.
Oh, no.
Her son put it on to play his game, and she sent me a picture. We immediately called her. We felt horrible. Like, oh my God, what happened?
Sure.
We realized we had to make a mistake. So she asked for her money back, and we said, absolutely, we'll give your money back. We also, gave her money towards a new gaming system, because we just,
sure,
if that's our fault, we're going to stand behind it. So
sure.
Moral of the story was she ended up giving us a 5-star review. She loved all the work, and, we stood behind it, and we kind of fixed what happened.
Yeah.
So she was so thankful. She couldn't believe it. So I think just doing the right thing and following up if a customer does call you, I learned early on in the mortgage industry from one of my first bosses, don't run from a problem, run towards a problem. He's like, you're going to look so much more professional. People make mistakes. People are human. As long as you fix it, people are more appreciative of it.
Absolutely. That's a great point. I feel like a lot of contractors, they do run from their problems. So running towards it in that case is great, especially when it's their kid, like they're so excited to have that and then that happens. But we all have, bad stories to tell in business, and that's how you learn. And as long as you learn from those mistakes, you move forward.
I think knowing what you can and can't do is important as well. I'm not afraid to say that's too much. Let's find you, a bigger contract. Sure. Kind of like you said, a full bathroom remodel. That's just a little too much for us.
Outside of scope for what.
So I think that helps us is not taking on more than we can handle.
Sure. No, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about like current trends in the industry. And what I mean by that, I guess, like in home maintenance, handyman services, homeowner expectations, like what are you seeing right now from the 1 year that you've been in business? Like what's going on out there in terms of what are homeowners, what do they like? What don't they like? What, are they getting new products in that you're installing? Like what's going on your end?
I think people are becoming a lot more aware of the maintenance that is required on homes. And just when we point things out, just not really thinking of that. A lot of people don't look up when they get to their house. They look at their front door, but just being aware of your whole house and what goes into that. I think people are really valuing the contractor, the handyman, someone that does good work. They don't question the price as much as I thought. As I'm having repeat business with customers, they don't even really ask what the price is. They ask me when we can get the job done. So I think once someone finds a handyman or a contractor that they trust, price is no longer important. It's just about the quality of the work. So I feel like that's becoming more important.
Sure.
People, I think, are vetting those contractors more because they've heard the stories of maybe money got taken or maybe jobs weren't complete. So I think they're doing more due diligence and referrals, word of mouth are very strong at my business.
Yeah, I think that will be in any business. The strongest part of marketing is just word of mouth. It's great to hear like, hey, I've used that person before. They did an amazing job. They, finished on time, cleaned it up like it was their own house and got out. I think you'll thrive in that area as well. What like client experiences and like community impact, like how did you and the team like focus on client relationships and communication? Like what do you have in place for that? Like what is the workflow behind, starting a job? Tell us like how that goes. Like, hey, client calls, we have, a bunch of outlets that want to be replaced, this and that. What is the process from there?
So being honest, Oscar, that's probably the hardest part of our business. It is the admin side, we've talked about before, but the process starts, they call in to us or they fill out our form on our website and then we obviously give them a call back, stop out. We're trying to get pictures from clients on smaller projects just to give them an idea of pricing. But I do like to get out there, either myself or my partner, Mike, just to see eyes on because there's always something that maybe wasn't in the photo that you don't see. So go out, give them an estimate. We use Jobber for all our invoicing and for all of our notes. We can upload pictures to that to send out that we've taken. And we just lay out the scope of the work, what we require for a deposit. And then, just moving forward with the communication. And we send an email when we're headed out or a text, depending on what the client.
That makes sense. I mean, the way you guys did it for us, too, was like pretty easy. I got your invoices really cleaned and laid out like nicely. And I appreciated that because usually it's like conversation over the phone, nothing in writing when you're doing jobs like this. And, that can get worrisome.
But I'm super excited to work with OM Media here to help with that part of the business, right? So I'd love to do some AI answer the phone. We are looking to possibly hire an admin person to help with the scheduling just to make it more professional, to make sure those text messages are going out. As we look to grow and scale in 26, obviously that's one thing we need to focus on.
Yeah, it can get overwhelming, especially during like the peak seasons of when people want work done, whether it's the spring or summer, fall, like when they're traveling and stuff, and you're getting all these intake calls or text messages or emails. It can be a lot when you're actually out there doing the work. And I ran into that problem a few times where we just grew too quick or too much too fast. And that can be a real negative downside to businesses as well. And I've talked about, with a few people on the show here about, growing too quick and how that can be, make sure you have systems in place and stuff. But I don't need to tell you, you know what you're doing and I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to help you grow if we can, because if you're growing, we're growing. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the marketing space for you guys, whether that's like text back, call back with AI, just to make sure your clients and customers are satisfied, automated emails to send out Google reviews so people, don't forget. It's just easy for clients to forget to leave you a Google review, even though it only takes them 2 minutes. But if they don't have to search your webpage and they get a direct link to your Google page, I think that's going to be amazing. Just, visibility, natural SEO, word of mouth is huge. When people see those reviews, first thing I do when I'm going to buy a product or, a service, I'm looking at reviews to see what past people said about it.
100%.
Like why would you not if they're there?
Yeah.
So, well, I just wanted to get some final insights about you, where viewers can kind of learn about Hometown Pros, your services, and get in touch with you. Is that easiest to do on your website? Soon, I know we're going to be launching an Instagram for you. I know you have a Facebook page.
Sure. You can check out our website, hometownpros.org. You can call us for schedule an estimate, 484-800-6078, or email hometownpros@hometownpros.org.
Yeah, for listeners and viewers that are watching the show or listening in on the show, Jay is, I met him, a little less than a year ago, I would say, maybe about a year ago now, in the Bucks Business Networking Group that we meet every first and third Tuesday of the month at 7:15 downstairs in the Hattery in Doylestown here. If you own a business locally and are interested in, meeting some new people and, gaining some tractions on leads and generating some more leads, it's a great spot to be. It's always a great conversation. We have some key speakers, I think 2 per meeting, that just get up and tell the whole group about business. I think it's fantastic. And that's where I met Jay, and Jay has turned into a good friend and a colleague and, someone I want to surround myself with just because we're like-minded. And I think it's exciting to meet people that are like-minded and, want to grow a business and learn from other people.
Yeah, I'm excited to work with you this year. I think you're going to really help us out with, the content you can help deliver in the areas that we are kind of lacking with the automation. And
that's why we're here. We tell business owners to focus running their business. Let us automate your marketing. We'll sit down. We'll have a strategic plan laid out for 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, think you need. We'll recommend within that scope. And, it's too much to worry. If you have to worry about finances and scheduling and admin work and then doing the job and picking up materials, the last thing you need to worry about is marketing, personally. But it should be top of mind for every business, in my opinion. 80% of your, profits should go towards that in your growing years, just because it's so it's invaluable, that it really does skyrocket a business and can make and break building a brand's image. And I'm excited to have you on board. I think you're going to do great. I'm excited to see a handyman service that's quality and reliable locally. And I think other people are going to benefit from it, whether they're realtors, homeowners. Well, last question for you. Do you only do residential, or do you dive into some of the commercial space, like restaurants and stuff, if they need things fixed, or is that more specialty?
We've done a little bit of commercial. We work with a property manager, and she has a couple commercial spaces.
Oh, yeah.
We are 95% residential. It's kind of in the works of talking about that, because that is more of a push for 26, is connecting with property managers, realtors, and really just opening up those doors.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you grow and add more people to your team, I feel like you can open up those doors even more down the road. So I'm super excited for you. Congratulations on starting a business. The first year is definitely the hardest. I learned that myself. The first 3 to 5 years can be, a little daunting. It's a roller coaster, but that's the fun. Enjoy the journey, and congrats again. And again, if you need the handyman service, Jay and his team, Hometown Pros LLC, they should be your first call. Check them out on their website. Soon they're launching an Instagram. They have a Facebook page. So check them out and give them a call if you have any punch list items that, you don't want to call a contractor or builder for. And they will definitely steer you in the right direction and make sure your house or project looks great.
Appreciate it, Oscar.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in to The Home Show. I hope you enjoyed the conversation and found something you can take with you. If you liked this episode, be sure to follow us and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And if you're a local leader in the real estate, design, or construction industry and want to share your story, visit om-media.com to apply to be a guest. Until next time, remember, you can't go home without OM.